Hi guys, so welcome back to Let's Reads. So in today's video, I actually am going to do my April wrap up of everything I read, everything I watched, also too things that I listen to because I do try to, you know, listen to different artists or discover new artists and that's what I did this month. So yeah, let's get started. So for the reading, the first book that I read was Gentleman Jigger by Richard Bruce Nugent. Now he is a part of the Harlem Renaissance. He actually was a artist, and this was his only book that he ever published. And what's so special about this author in this book is this is the first Harlem Renaissance book that has a openly gay protagonist. You know, in the Harlem Renaissance, there were a lot of men that struggle with their sexuality, but of course they couldn't just bring that out because it was really tabooed. But Richard was the opposite. And in this book, it talks about two main characters, two brothers. One is a famous poet, and another is an a poet and an artist. And one is passing for white, and the other is just basically navigating in Black society. And they have these these artists that they come together in it's called the Niggerati manner, which is actually a real phrase that was coined by Zora Neale Hurston. And so in Niggerati manner, it's a house basically, and you just have these group of intellectual people that are into art, into reading, writing, all of that, and you just basically see how they put together their works, and I really did enjoy it. Now some parts were kind of a little bit boring. I would say this is a really good book for like an African American studies class or Harlem Renaissance class, because it reads kind of like a critical analysis, critical discourse, and then the vocabulary is amazing. Like, you can tell that Richard was brilliant. And also too, this is his art because he was an artist, so this is one of his works. Next is also by a Harlem Renaissance author. His name is Eric Walrond, and this is Tropic Death. This is a collection of short stories. And I talked about this in my last video that, I wanted to read it, and I read it, in April, and I really did enjoy it. He is a Caribbean author, so he really does talk about, basically the Caribbean aspects when it comes to life, when it comes to ideology, just everything. So I really did enjoy it. I also enjoyed the dialogue too, and the dialect, because it's like patois in here. Next is another short story collection, and it's Alice Walker, You Can't Keep a Good Woman Down. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is my third Alice Walker book, and I had never read any of her short stories, and I just picked this up on a whim, and I was like flabbergasted because, I mean, everyone knows Alice Walker can write. That's like, everyone knows that. But like, these stories are just amazing. They deal with the main, center is Black women. The main, I would say, themes in this book, it deals with rape, it deals with race, it deals with feminism, excuse me. What else? It deals with love, it deals with heartache. She just knows how to write all of that. And the story that I can't get out of my head is the first story, which is called 1954. I talked about it again in my last video, about how she talked about Elvis Presley. He was inspired by Elvis Presley, how he stole all of our music, and how he stole music from Black women, and especially Black songwriters, and they didn't get their praise. And that was the first story, and I'm like, oh my goodness. After reading that, I said, oh no, I'm gonna love this, and I did. I would urge you guys, please, please, please pick this collection up if you haven't. Next is How the One-Armed Sister Swept Her House by Cherie Jones. Now, if I'm gonna be honest, I was lightweight kind of disappointed, and the crazy thing is, this is a book that I would like, and I just could not really get into it. I was determined to finish it. And while I was reading it, I'm like, oh Lord, like when is this gonna be over? I just don't know why I didn't really like it. And I was disappointed because I just thought when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love this. And I just didn't. I did like the ending because you got closure. But basically it's about a girl named Lala. She has a husband named Aiden that he's basically a thief. And an incident happens where he basically is like in someone's house stealing something and all hell breaks loose. And he is just such a horrible man, and Lala's so innocent and gullible, and that's something that I would like, and I just did not, I wasn't jiving with this book, so it was a disappointment, but I like the cover, so yeah. Now, those are all the books that I like physically read, and I'm going to tell you about the books that I listened to. And I've noticed for the past like couple of months, I've been liking to listen to books that are like urban fiction or slightly erotic. I don't know why, but that's what I've been doing. So the first book that I listened to is called My Little Secret by Anna J. It talks about a girl named Jada and Midori. And basically Midori is married, and she's like in this like horrible marriage. He don't do nothing for her. And so she starts like basically kicking it with Jada, and they have this relationship, and girl, all hell breaks loose. You know, the husband finds out, and Midori doesn't want to be with him. She wants to be with Jada, and Jada like, oh, I mean, I can't. And then Jada got this crazy girlfriend. It was a mess. And actually, I think it's a sequel to this. No, it's not. I'm lying. No, it's not a sequel to this. The other one I read is a sequel to it. But I really did enjoy that. It's called, again, My Little Secret. The next book that I listened to is called What Bey Won't Do, The Next Man Will by Genesis Wood. And this talks about, it's like the boy next door. A girl named Janaire and a boy named Samaj, which is James spelled backwards. It's ghetto, but for some reason, I really like that. But basically they live next door, and like Samaj is really into Janaire, and she's like, she like him, but she's like, I got a man, you know. But then her little, I don't know what he is, Jerome, her man, is cheating girl left and right. I mean, with everybody and their mama. This book was full of so much drama. You had friends sleeping with friends. You had, I mean, it was like, oh my goodness. This is the one that had a sequel. And after listening to the first one, I'm like, I can't listen to the second one because my nerves were up and down. And the older I get, I can't take that. But it was really good. I did enjoy it. And I should read the second book because one of the characters, if you guys have read it, please tell me, who is Lala's baby daddy? Because I need to know. But I just don't feel like listening to that because, again, my nerves are up and down. But if you guys have read What Bey Won't Do, The Next Man Will by Genesis Wood, who is Lala's baby daddy? That's all I got to say. And the last book that I listened to is My Woman, His Wife, also by Anna J. Now, this is also a series. It's a 3-book series. I just read the first one. I'm not reading the other 2. This is another story about a married couple, and the husband has this bright idea about bringing another woman in, you know, their bedroom, and they do. And Lord, that woman is so off. And oh, that one was another drama-filled one. My nerves were bad, but it was really entertaining listening to. So for some reason, I am really liking Anna J's books. They're hilarious. The dialogue's hilarious. You guys know I always say over and over, I like that drama and that tea. So yeah. So that's all I did for the books. All I read and listened to with the book. So I had a really good month. Now for movies. The first movie that I watched was The Omission with Tina Fey and Paul Rudd. Every time I think of him, I just think of Josh from Clueless. So this was, I really liked it. It was basically about Tina Fey's character. She is a admissions officer. She I think works at like Princeton, and basically just see how you see the progress of how people get like into colleges, and I'm sorry, how people get into colleges. And it was a cute little movie. You know, I liked it, so I was like, let me just watch it, and I really did enjoy it. Next I watch I'm real old to this. I watch Beyonce's Homecoming. Oh my goodness, amazing. That, come on now. I mean, that's Queen Bee. That girl can sing, dance, everything, and that whole theme was just amazing. The way that she did that, with that, you know, black, oh Lord, sorry, that black marching band and those beautiful black, you know, girls dancing. She did that. I loved every minute of that. Yeah. Next was Sophisticated Ladies, which is a musical. It was what one? Sophisticated Ladies came out in 1981 through 1984. It's a Duke Ellington musical. It was on Broadway, yeah, from 1981 to 1984, starting Phyllis Hyman, starting who else? Gregory Hines. You have Paul Kelly. Amazing. Oh my goodness. Usually I don't really like musicals because I always feel like I can't hear them talk, but it's like, girl, it's a musical. My mind. But I really enjoyed this. So and after watching that, I got into one of the artists that I am going to mention. So yeah, that's amazing. Please check it out if you haven't. And the last movie I watched is called Finding Neverland, which has Johnny Depp and Kate Winslet. It's inspired by J.M. Barrie. Actually, it's basically by him, about him. J.M. Barrie was the author of Peter Pan, and the Kate Winslet's character, she had like 4 or 5 kids, and they were inspired. You know, Peter Pan and the whole story was inspired by her kids. Such a great movie. I really did enjoy it. I've been on this Kate Winslet kind of hole after last month watching The Reader. So great movie. Clearly I'm really old to it because that came out in 2004. So yeah. Now lastly, music. Now, like I said, after watching Sophisticated Ladies, I got back into Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman was an amazing singer. You can't put her in a box. She did jazz, she did pop, she did R&B, everything, and her voice is amazing, just immensely talented. If you haven't listened to any Phyllis Hyman, I would urge you guys to. I love Old Friend. I love Somewhere in My Lifetime. I love You Know How to Love Me. Oh, amazing. And sadly, Phyllis Hyman took her life in 1995. She struggled with like depression and bipolar. But her voice is just so soothing. Please listen to Phyllis Hyman. Next, who I have been listening to lately is Bebe Winans. After watching the Versus, Bebe and Cece versus Mary Mary, I started listening to Bebe. I'm always listening to the Winans. But I started listening to Bebe's solo album, his first solo album that came out in 1997. Amazing. I mean, if you guys know anything about the Winans, they can sing you underneath the table. So, but I really love his solo album, Mist of a Rain. What's the other one I like? Love is the Reason. Those are like the 2 ones I can really think of. And then lastly, I have been listening to the Clark Sisters, which is also a gospel group. Clark Sisters they've been out since when? The 70s. Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about gospel music, you have to mention the Clark Sisters. I've been listening to their last album that came out in 2020. It's called The Return. Really, really good. You know, I love it. I love Power. What else? Victory. I mean, it's the Clark Sisters. So yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. Again, like I said, it was a really good month. You know, reading, music, movie wise, it just was really good. So yeah, guys, I'll be back for another wrap up next month. Bye.